Welcome to the Thesis Statement and Topic Sentence Workshop. In this workshop, you will learn how to write clear and precise thesis statements and how to write unified and specific topic sentences that relate to your thesis statement. First, we need to define the thesis statement. A thesis statement is used to inform the readers about an argument and give direction for the whole entire paper. Usually in your classes, your professors will focus on what a thesis statement is. First, we're going to discuss what a thesis statement is not. A thesis statement is never a fact. You will never have a statistic, a number, or a percentage in your thesis statement. Also, a thesis statement is not in first person. Never me, my, or I will be included in your thesis statement. Also, a thesis statement is never a title. How to better exercise every single day, the differences between the best cookies in the world will never be a thesis statement. Also, a thesis statement is not an announcement. In the following, I will talk about, you will never use that. Also, a thesis statement is never too general or too broad. You can't just talk about cars, you need to be more specific than that. Also, a thesis statement is never a question. How to better exercise every single day is never going to be a thesis statement. Oftentimes there's a little confusion between thesis statements and topic sentences. A thesis statement is the main idea of an entire paper. The topic sentence is usually the main idea of a specific paragraph. Topic sentences may also have transition words or phrases at the beginning of each sentence. Next, we're going to talk about the thesis statement strategies. In the graphic, you will see how to break down your sentence in order to write a clear and precise thesis statement. You'll see sentence beginning, the category, the topic, and the main points. All create a formula that will help you write a better thesis statement. Depending on what category or what your assignment is saying for you to do, you may need to change up the words. So depending on if you're using a cause or an effect, or cause and effect, or a compare and contrast, or a characteristic, an expository, all depend on the word use. And so you may need to change that up from time to time. See the examples for some help. Now this is a second strategy. Again, the graphic breaks down the sentence. And it has a sentence beginning, a category, a topic, and a main point. This time though, the sentence beginning starts with there are two, and then it says whether it's primary or main. After it does that, it's going to ask for the category, whether depending on what you're asked to do for your particular assignment. Then whatever topic that you're talking about, and then previewing the main points. Again, see the examples and fill in the blanks with your own particular topics or previews that you want to talk about. The third strategy that we're going to discuss today is a little bit different than the first two. This time, you're going to lead your sentence with the main points, then whatever adjective, then a category, depending on what you're asked to write, and then the topic. So for example, economic growth and cultural exchange are the main points that they're going to talk about. Their two main benefits is the category of globalization, which is the specific topic. This is definitely an effective way to write a thesis statement. Now that you have these three strategies in mind, it's time to start planning on which one that you want to use. Whichever the one that you feel comfortable, you should also try to start practicing another one of those strategies. The suggestion here is so that you can have one that goes in your introduction and one that could be used as a restated thesis in your conclusion. Now let's use the practice paper. So we're going to use this following topic to practice. The topic is education is important to have. We have our three supports. It could be enable one to get a better job, it can make a person more interesting individual, or it can make a person a more informed citizen. Okay, now we're going to put this to practice. We have our topic, education is important to have, and we have our three major points: getting a better paying job, being a more interesting individual, and becoming a more informed citizen. I particularly like the there are strategy, which is the second one on your sheet. This is pretty straightforward, so it's easy to remember, and it's pretty accurate. So we're going to go ahead and use that one. There are three primary reasons why education is important to have: getting a better paying job, making a person a more interesting individual, and becoming a more informed citizen. Now we're going to use a different strategy so that we can use it in the conclusion. It's very good to use a different strategy for the thesis statement in the conclusion, or a restated thesis statement, because it creates like a bookend so that your essay will stand up. It keeps it unified, it keeps it precise, and it's clear what you've covered throughout the essay. I particularly like the third strategy, where you list the three reasons first. So let me show you an example. So again, I'm listing now getting a better paying job, making a person more interesting individual, becoming a more informed citizen are the three reasons why education is important to have. Pretty much the same, except in a different format. I probably also need to add my in conclusion transition as well. Now that we have worked on the strategies for a thesis statement and how to include one in our conclusion, now it's time to backtrack a little and work on our topic sentences. In your classes, you've probably been asked to write topic sentences for each body paragraph, and you've probably also been asked to use transitions or transition words to go from point to point. For example, first, second, third, or firstly, secondly, thirdly, or even first, next, then, finally, after, so on. But we're going to take it a step further than the word, and we're going to go after a transitional phrase. So instead of having like first, we're going to go with the first. So the first reason why education is important to have is to get a better paying job. Now in this sentence, I have my transition word, the first, and then I'm referring back to my thesis statement, reason why education is important, and then what is my direction for this particular paragraph. And I can do this again. Instead of saying the first reason, I can go the second reason, the last reason, and so on. I also like to use different transitions as well. For example, in addition. But I like to amp it up a little bit and go in addition to. So that way I'm referring to whatever I said before. So in addition to getting a better paying job, making a person a more interesting individual is also why education is important. Okay? Again, I'm referring to what I said in the last sentence or the last paragraph, and I'm also referring to my thesis statement, but I'm also giving the next major point. And for the last major point, I could use finally the last. I'm going to use the last major reason is so people can become a more informed citizen. Now that we have completed our thesis statement, our topic sentences, and a conclusion restated thesis, we have a very good start to our paper. It's well organized, it's precise, and it's clear. Your professors are really going to like the fact that you have these kind of things down pat. You can also use this strategy to speed up your process for writing maybe an in-class writing or a timed writing, depending on what class you're taking. And this could streamline everything and make it a whole lot faster and more efficient process. So keep in mind at least two of the strategies that we talked about today, so that way that you can stay on top of your thesis statement and a restated thesis statement. And then just remember to use different strategies for your topic sentences when it comes to transitions, and that you refer back to your thesis statement throughout in the topic sentences. Now we've come to the end of the workshop. In this workshop, we have covered 3 different strategies on how to write a thesis statement. The suggestion is to master at least 2 so that you can include 1 in your introduction so that you have a good clear thesis, and then 2 that you can use it in your conclusion as a restated thesis. We've also talked about using different transitions and referring to the thesis statement in our topic sentences for the body paragraphs of our essay. All the while, keep in mind that there are different types of thesis statements out there. These are just a basic start to a bigger world when it comes to thesis statement writing and essay writing. So feel free to sign up for tutoring or practice using the practice given here today for any future essays that you may write, and or if you want to get more practice at writing those clear, precise thesis statements. Thank you for your time, and have a good day.